with a real gun in my real face on real camera. Understand I'm losing my life. So you can't possibly respond to it. You're not sure of the meaning. And I'm going to continue hitting you because this is what comedians do.
Right.
We've heard outrageous Hollywood stories before, but every so often something detonates that reminds us the entertainment business isn't just ruthless, it's lethal. We're staring at that kind of spectacle now as Katt Williams pulls back the curtain on a sequence so explosive, so personal that the line between radio roast and real-life vendetta gets blurred in ways that would send shivers through any Emmy winner. The way Katt tells it, that infamous on-air showdown with Wanda Smith at Atlanta's V103 in 2018 was only the first scene in a script written not by comedians, but by power brokers who play for keeps. What started as a garden variety roast quickly mutated into something darker, and Katt himself wasted no words about what nearly happened. They tried to end me this same weekend, not in jokes, with a real weapon in my face on real camera. No punchline there. The audience gasped back then. Now, all we can do is rewind, comb through the evidence, and wonder who wanted Katt Williams erased and why.
If you want to have Wanda's jewelry, please go to Sitgo or Quick Trip at any point. If you buy 2 packs of Newport 100s, they will give you everything Wanda has on right now for $7.99, and it comes with a free car wash. Won't you come on down?
Yes, thank you.
Absolutely.
It's almost poetic in a tragic kind of way. 2 comedians trading barbs in a cramped Atlanta studio, their words looping out across the city, the country, the world. The show's producers promised Katt a safe space, a celebration of his Emmy, no messy questions about his family, no dig into past legal woes. In the span of a few minutes, all that evaporated. Wanda, who'd spent 2 decades building her own reputation, poked and prodded until Katt snapped back with a venom that went viral before the commercial break had even aired. In the heat of the moment, it looked like radio gold. Shout out to the Forever 21 necklace collection, Katt riffed, turning Smith's jewelry into national comedy fodder. And then for good measure, if you want to have Wanda's jewelry, please go to Sitgo or Quick Trip. You get everything for $799 and it comes with a free car wash. The city howled. Social media set itself on fire. But by the time that show clip passed 1 million views, the real story had already moved outside into the parking lot, where the cost of humiliation wasn't a punchline, but a loaded threat.
Opposite way. You can't flip up on me because you're an inferior comedian. I'm going to destroy you and I'm never going to call you out of your name.
And here's where the intrigue thickens. According to Katt, what played out on air wasn't just an ego clash. He insists, both on Shannon Sharpe's podcast and in follow-ups with Willie D, that the radio appearance was a trap. I just know that it was a setup, he claimed. Not only did Wanda allegedly orchestrate the confrontation, but if we believe the latest batch of rumors, she wasn't acting alone. Whisper campaigns in Atlanta's comedy circles point to Wanda as a possible Hollywood puppet, handpicked by industry heavyweights frustrated by Katt's habit of torching their secrets live and unfiltered. Former road managers and more than a few ex-radio producers have started to murmur that the roast was just bait, a carefully engineered fuse meant to blow up Katt's career. Or worse, was Wanda, who spent years hobnobbing with everyone from Def Comedy Jam producers to Atlanta civic leaders, really so desperate for ratings? Or was she part of a larger machine set in motion long before Katt strolled into the V103 lobby? And there's a particular chill in the air now as more details leak from people who claim to have seen the playbook. Wanda's long-standing reputation as a radio queen, her brief but not insignificant acting gigs with Tyler Perry, her philanthropic hustle with the Girls Stand Together project, all impressive, all very public. But the real story, insiders say, was being written backstage. At least 2 former V103 staffers, both speaking on condition of anonymity, have told us that Wanda was under tremendous pressure from big LA money to boost the show's profile at any cost. And as Katt's career soared, drawing Hollywood heat for his no prisoners commentary and his habit of torching industry sacred cows, the incentive to make him stumble, maybe even to provoke something that would get him canceled for good, became more than just gossip. For Wanda, who some claim was angling for a development deal with an Atlanta TV syndicate, getting Katt in studio was a golden opportunity. Or, depending who you ask, it was the first step in an orchestrated downfall.
Right.
And remember, they tried to kill me this same weekend, not in jokes.
Of course, there's another layer that nobody wants to talk about directly, but everybody keeps hinting at: the vanishing evidence. Over the last several months, a fresh round of whispers has emerged, this time focused on what never made it to daylight. It's no secret that Katt has publicly mused about Wanda erasing crucial communications from her phone in the aftermath. the digital breadcrumbs, the deleted text threads, the emails that might show not just coordination, but premeditation. 3 different sources. One, a former comedy club promoter, claimed Wanda was up all night the weekend of the confrontation, scrubbing her socials and backing up files. One even suggests she contacted a tech-savvy cousin for help, making sure nothing embarrassing leaked. The official story is vague. Wanda never directly addressed the issue on air, citing legal reasons, but her abrupt exit from radio in January 2019 is a hard fact. No press conference, no farewell tour, just gone. And if we're honest, that's not how Atlanta usually handles its legends. It's how the industry handles liabilities. But maybe the real drama isn't in what we know, but what we still can't prove. Every few weeks, another rumor pops up. A disgruntled former employee, a comedian who was backstage that night, a producer who claims there's unreleased security footage. They all dance around the same story, that Wanda was desperate to protect herself, and maybe others, from a scandal that could have rocked more than just a radio station. Some say there's a flash drive, somewhere in the hands of a local club owner, containing unedited messages that lay out the plot. Others insist it's all smoke, a distraction, while the real players continue to pull strings from behind velvet curtains in LA and New York. What we do know is that Katt has refused to let this go. Years after most celebrities would have taken the L and moved on, he's still name-checking Wanda. Still digging, still threatening legal action if the truth doesn't come out.
But this lady is trying to embarrass me in front of a largely homosexual fan base. That's why she got canceled.
And all the while, the fan base is split. Some demanding Katt apologize, as he famously did after his Michael Jackson jokes. Others insisting he's owed an apology for what they see as an orchestrated hit job. Meanwhile, Wanda Smith herself has faded into a kind of radio silence that only fans and conspiracy theorists seem to notice. Her X account has been dormant since 2020, her Instagram reduced to sporadic promos for local club gigs and birthday shoutouts. There's talk, completely unconfirmed, that she's facing legal trouble, or even that she's not free to speak because of industry NDAs tied to what really happened after the roast. What makes this saga different from the usual feud is the way the facts keep mutating into legend. Was it really just a comedy beef that spun out of control, or is this the most public chapter in a years-long campaign to bury a star who refused to play nice with the big boys? Those who've watched Katt over the years know he's never shied away from exposing what others only whisper about in hotel bars. The trouble is, when you keep torching bridges, eventually someone's gonna hand your enemies a match. We're left combing through archived footage, slow-motion playbacks of parking lot confrontations, eyewitness accounts that never quite line up, and the ever-present hum of speculation. Was the entire V103 roast an inside job? Or is the real evidence still sitting on someone's encrypted hard drive, waiting for the right moment to resurface? The stakes are clear, the tension's only getting thicker, and the people who know the truth seem to be working overtime to keep it buried.
And the world was okay with it because it was me. Had that happened to anyone else, the world went crazy when Will smacked Chris.
As the spotlight swings away from the radio booth and settles on the parking lot that September night, we're forced to confront the moment that sent shockwaves far beyond Atlanta's comedy scene. There it is, Lamorris Sellers, Wanda's husband. Storming after Katt Williams, a gun glinting in his hand beneath harsh parking lot lights. The footage, released by TMZ and endlessly dissected by both skeptics and loyalists, doesn't just haunt Katt's fans. It leaves us all with a question that refuses to fade quietly. Was this the instinctive outburst of a husband pushed past his breaking point, or the calculated move of a man playing enforcer for interests much bigger than a radio roast gone sideways? Lamorris claimed the gun simply fell from his waistband as he chased Katt through the lot, but surveillance tells a more unsettling story. You can see the urgency, the adrenaline. Lamorris isn't just shouting, he's charging. He doesn't look like someone struggling with a wardrobe malfunction, he looks like a man with a mission. According to police reports, Lamorris told officers he never pointed the weapon at Katt, and Katt never filed charges. Yet the visual evidence is enough to keep tongues wagging. And that's before you dig into the whispered tip-offs from local club workers who swear Lamorris wasn't acting alone. One bartender told us she overheard 2 men discussing teaching Katt a lesson earlier in the night. Was it just talk, or did someone in the shadows push Lamorris to escalate from words to threats? As always, the official story leaves too many doors open.
Like, all my enemies all look the same in the eyes, whether it's Faison, Wanda, Aries, Spears, they all look like...
Man, what you got against Wanda sight?
We have to remember the timing, too. The comedy world in 2018 was a powder keg, everyone on edge after years of social media callouts, public fallouts, and the slow drip of scandals exposing old guard power players. Katt, never one to tiptoe, had spent years tossing grenades into polite Hollywood conversation. He'd called out A-listers for alleged exploitation, thrown shade at untouchable icons, and walked the tightrope between industry darling and persona non grata. Is it any wonder that rumors began to swirl about the Wanda setup being more than a marital defense? 3 Atlanta bookers with long memories insist there was an agenda from LA that Wanda's camp had quietly accepted guidance from executives fed up with Katt's on-air truth-telling. It wouldn't be the first time a comedian paid the price for going off script in an industry that loves its secrets.
When people are against the Illuminati, then they get punched in the face all the time. The press hates them, and nobody likes them.
Katt himself has fed these suspicions, never mincing words about his status as a target. In interviews after the Wanda confrontation, he's pointed to a pattern, comedians being made examples of after daring to challenge the narrative. Because I didn't have that man go to jail and ruin that family. It starts to create a culture where it says you can hurt these people. We should be protected. He told the media, drawing a direct line from his parking lot experience to the infamous on-stage slap that rocked the Oscars to the violence against Dave. If Katt's right, then his beef with Wanda was never about jewelry or punchlines. It was about warning others what happens when you don't play nice with power.
I've not been funded. They pay you to not talk about things they don't want you to talk about. They tell you that themselves.
It's not only comedians whispering. Local promoters, radio staff, even security guards at the Atlanta Comedy Theater recall the sense of unease that weekend. The venue, normally a safe haven for comics blowing off steam, turned tense after the broadcast. One former security chief claims higher-ups told staff to look the other way if there were any incidents involving Wanda or her family. Why such special treatment? That's the question that keeps us circling back to industry influence. For those who've tracked these stories for decades, the Wanda-Katt saga fits a familiar pattern. Pressure mounts, a star steps out of line, and then chaos erupts right on cue. What makes this confrontation all the more chilling is the aftermath. Wanda was off the radio within months. Her public appearances rare, her social accounts quiet to the point of suspicion. Some believe she's laying low on the advice of lawyers. Others hint she's been warned off speaking out by those who once backed her. There's even a persistent rumor that she signed a series of NDAs so ironclad they could muzzle a CIA operative. A rival comedian in Atlanta went so far as to say, if Wanda ever tells the real story, she'll need a bodyguard of her own. The tension around her disappearance only deepens as every unanswered question gets filled by speculation, and every silence feels like a coded message.
Gay people don't take it kindly that you would, as a derogatory, call me gay. Gay people don't feel like it's derogatory.
Wanda's retreat from the public eye has only intensified the speculation. Once a constant on the Atlanta airwaves and a fixture at local comedy spots, her sudden vanishing act set off alarm bells not just among fans, but across the entire entertainment grapevine. Her last flurry of social media posts dates back to late 2023, mostly routine promo gigs and community events before everything went quiet. The abrupt silence has become a character in the story itself. Every dormant account, every ignored media inquiry, every canceled appearance, a new clue for those convinced that Wanda's disappearance is no accident. Some former colleagues insist she simply chose privacy over infamy, but a growing crowd wonders whether the pressure, legal, emotional, or something more shadowy, forced her into hiding. There are theories that her disappearance was less a decision and more a necessity, the kind of self-imposed exile reserved for those who know too much or have crossed the wrong line. Industry veterans point out the chilling pattern. One moment, Wanda is the life of the party, basking in 20 years of radio fame, and the next, she's gone, with only cryptic rumors of legal trouble and unsigned contracts in her wake. That vacuum has been filled by everything from whispers of hush money to warnings passed through intermediaries. The few public sightings of Wanda have been fleeting. Private family gatherings, unconfirmed spottings at Atlanta's smaller clubs, always moving, never lingering. It's as if she's living out the consequences of a choice she never fully made. Caught between self-preservation and the fallout from a feud that spiraled out of anyone's control. What remains is a psychological riddle. Was Wanda running from her own guilt, weighed down by a moment of weakness that detonated her career? Or was she forced out by a machine much larger than a morning show, one that decided silence was the safest outcome for everyone involved? The lack of closure fuels the mythology, turning Wanda Smith into more than just a casualty of a viral moment. Her absence is now a cipher, a haunting reminder that in the world of comedy and celebrity, the cost of crossing the line isn't always public disgrace, it can be erasure itself. As the story pushes forward, Wanda's vanishing act is the wound that refuses to close, leaving all of us to wonder if we'll ever truly know what drove her from the spotlight, or if the full truth is just another secret buried in Atlanta's concrete.
Having seen some of my competitors and peers get on that same court and do a performance that involved my name. And so once 6 or 7 of you have made this same violation, it's my job as the king to show up and chastise thee. This is my job.
Meanwhile, Katt's momentum hasn't slowed. If anything, the controversy has given him more ammunition, and he's not wasting it. He's dropped hints about taking legal action, maybe even suing Wanda or her estate for orchestrating the setup and erasing evidence. Legal analysts say there's precedent. If texts or emails were deleted to obstruct an investigation, the fallout could be enormous. But the real bombshell could come if new evidence ties the incident to bigger Hollywood names, the very power players Katt has called out for years. Imagine if this fight, which began as a roast, actually cracks open a decades-old pattern of silencing and blacklisting in comedy and radio. We have to consider what's at stake here. If Katt moves forward with a lawsuit, the discovery process could drag up all the receipts, deleted files, off-the-record emails, and whatever's left on that mysterious flash drive said to be circulating in Atlanta's underground. For years, insiders have whispered about a digital smoking gun that could upend careers on both coasts. If it surfaces, the aftershocks won't just rattle Atlanta. They'll reach boardrooms and broadcast towers in LA and New York.
All lies will be exposed, that's all. And anyone who takes that the wrong way, know why they take it the wrong way.
As all this unfolds, we're left wondering about the broader implications. Is this just a grudge match gone nuclear? Or are we looking at a test case for how the entertainment industry polices its own? Some see Katt as a victim, some as a provocateur, others as the last comic standing in a game rigged from the start. The truth, as always, hides in the shadows between what's recorded and what's whispered late at night, between what the audience is allowed to see and what really goes on behind the curtain. We're staring at the edge of something much bigger, a scandal that could redraw the boundaries of comedy, power, and the price you pay for speaking the unspeakable. So could Katt Williams finally take down the forces that tried to destroy him, or will the hidden hands in Hollywood silence him for good? Tell us what you think. Are you Team Katt, Team Wanda, or do you believe the real story is still buried under lock and key? Drop your theories in the comments, subscribe for more truth bombs, and remember, in this business, the laughter always hides a secret. Until next time, stay curious, stay bold, and never stop asking, what's really going on behind the scenes?